My name is Tania Georgelas. For a decade I was an Islamic extremist. My ex-husband became a leading member of the Islamic State, and now I'm hoping to counter his ideology.
In the late 1990s, Tania went to high school here in Harrow. It's a middle-class, diverse London suburb. I grew up here myself and went to school just 3 miles down the road. I didn't know her at the time, but know many people who did. They've all described her as a pretty normal teenager. They say that she sometimes had boyfriends and played truant from school. She wasn't known to be especially religious or even politically engaged. So when did it all change?
I turned to religion in my life when I was 17. I just wanted to change my identity. I didn't want to be Tania from Harrow anymore. I wanted to be Salman Pius, someone that people didn't call a tart. So it gave me structure in my life that I needed, and it helped me feel like I belonged somewhere.
In her late teens and early 20s, Tania mixed with various radical groups in London. They changed the way she looked at the world.
Our minds were just being filled with these images, terrible, disturbing images. They would give examples of what happened in Srebrenica and Bosnia. We were made to feel this shared sense of guilt because we're a community, and it was our duty to do something, and that something was jihad.
In 2003, she married Rickin Majithia. He was an American convert she had met online. Over the next 8 years, they lived across the UK, US and Middle East. By the time they reached Syria in 2013, Tania was pregnant with their 4th child.
I stayed in abandoned homes by ex-military. The windows had been blown out, and every single night I had become accustomed to hearing gunfire.
By this point, Tania says she had started to question a life of jihad. She wanted to take the children back to America. After 3 weeks in Syria, she pleaded with John to let them escape. He agreed.
There were bullets, like snipers, on these towers shooting, and we could see the bullets flying everywhere. And so, I remember putting my kids through the barbed wire, and the Syrian refugees, they were just guys. They were helping us as much as they could. And I put the stroller in, and then John passed me another baby. It was so scary.
John remained in Syria and went on to join the so-called Islamic State. Until earlier this year, the group controlled vast areas of Syria and Iraq, where it implemented brutal rule and killed thousands. Tania says she hasn't heard from John in over a year and doesn't know if he's alive or dead.
The last thing he told me, the last message, was that he apologizes for the wrong that he's done to me and the children, and that if I don't hear from him in 6 months, it's most likely because he's dead.
Tania now lives in the United States. Her children are looked after by John's parents and seem well adjusted to American life. Why should America give you a second chance, given all that you did to propagate extremism against this country?
I think they should give me a second chance because I realized I was wrong and I made a mistake, and I really want to make up for my mistakes.
She says she's turned her back on extremism and wants to use her experiences to deter others from making the same mistakes. If you were to meet a woman who was thinking about going down the same path that you once took, what would you say to her?
I'd say I lost my family, I lost my home, I lost 10 years of my life that I should have, been working at towards my education and a career. I have 4 children who don't have a dad now. Is this a situation you want to be in?